and welcome to my channel. My name is Betsy Bohan and I am doing some special Christmas videos this year. This one is about my Christmas miracle. And believe me, it has been something I've been waiting for years. So, what is this Christmas miracle anyway that I'm talking about? Everybody wants a miracle, and actually I've had so many different things happen in my life that I know God did and I consider a miracle. But this one has to do with this Christmas in particular, and in particular my vocal cords. Here it is in a nutshell. I was born January 4th, 1958, and for the first 2 years until my brother was born, and I think it's secretly because I was the third girl, and I have always been very sensitive, you know, that emotional intelligence. I think I sensed that they would have really liked a boy. Not that they didn't love me, they did, and they did get a boy after me, and because my mother said, you wheezed the first 2 years, and you wheezed so much that we steamed you in the shower. That's what they did back then. And the wallpaper was coming off the walls. But the day we brought your brother home from the hospital, you stopped wheezing. See what I mean about emotional intelligence, and having worked in NICU and having seen what they understand now about what goes on in the mind and the emotions of us even inside the womb, I would not be surprised. Anyway, so that started, and that was that. Well, then later on they didn't know if it was asthma. It wasn't truly asthma because I had difficulty breathing when I would run, or was exercise induced or stress induced, but it was not on the expiration, which asthma is. That's wheezing on the exhale. I had VCD, which I was diagnosed actually in my 40s because we were trying to figure it out. And it's vocal cord dysphonia, or vocal cord dysfunction actually, and it's when the vocal cords close prematurely, whether you're inhaling or exhaling. Yeah. And actually you have to learn how to breathe to be able to do exercise. You inspire, like say, to the count of 4, and you exhale doubly long to the count of 8 slowly, so that it helps keep those vocal cords open and you can get that air out. So I was diagnosed with that, and I have had other vocal cord things, and one of those being where I love to be creative, but in 1986, 87 or something like that, I was at a hospital working, and I volunteered to paint a sign for an upcoming event. Well, what I did wrong was I painted the sign with oil-based paints in the hospital's basement, which in an area that did not have enough ventilation, and it caused my vocal cords to swell, and I had laryngitis for 2 months and probably overused them even during those time, which kind of that sets you up for some things later on down the line. So I've had trouble with cleaning chemicals, any strong things. If I'm around it too much, it can tend to irritate my vocal cords, which is part of vocal cord dysfunction. So then I've also had, which my vocal therapist, my current one, has said, she says, Betsy, she says, I've never seen anybody that's had so many issues, and you've just met the challenge. And she was so helpful though, but I'm like, you're kidding. She's like, no, because I've had reflux. I had vocal cord, the tension in the neck area. What is that, muscular dysphonia? Or anyway, I can't think of the name of that right now. But that was one of the things. I have had reflux and trouble with reflux. Then in 2009, I had to have a polyp removed on one cord and a nodule on the other. It was done at the same time. It was January 2010. And my current doctor, who I've had now for 21 years, almost 21 years, he's my specialist. He did microsurgery on both my cords to remove those. And he's the one actually that told me I could do YouTube, because what happened was he had to do surgery on me, but it was after I was working with patients in home care, where we'd go out and we would see patients during the day, like hourly visits and things like that. And I had several that were hard of hearing that it seemed like they would lose or misplace or break their hearing aids, and eventually my talking was like this. And I had trouble breathing. My vocal cords couldn't even close all the way because of the growths on both of them. So that's when my doctor said, no, we need to do surgery. But then after surgery, he said, you need to follow some parameters, Betsy, because I don't want to have to do surgery on you again, because the vocal cords are so fine and you could risk losing your voice, and I don't want that to happen to you. So he put me in a vocal therapy, and I've had lots of vocal therapy. In fact, I brought these all out. Do you see all this? These are my vocal cord. Some are records, some are pictures. I've had a lot of strobes, so a lot of different viewing things down my nose to view the chords and how they work, and you have to sing, you have to talk, you have to do all this stuff while they're videoing it and taking pictures of it, so they can see how your vocal cords are functioning, show it to the patient, and then work to fix those problems or have to go for surgery. So anyway, these are all my records. In fact, I've been to so many vocal therapists and I love them all. I had to make my own vocal cord book that I put all my past and current exercises in to help with my vocal cords. So I still have vocal cord dysfunction, and I've had a hemorrhage on my left cord. I have pictures of that. I'll put them here in this video. So I've had reflux, hemorrhage, vocal cord dysfunction. I have a left partially paralyzed, it's called a retinoid, I believe. Anyways, it's part of the vocal cord system. So when you have vocal cords, you have folds right here and those move, but then you have these two muscles above and they move back and forth, like to open and help with the cord closure and open. Now my left one is like this. It barely works. And my right one is like, it crosses the midline actually to meet the left cord. And our Christmas miracle is that through all working with all the therapists, working with things online, praying to God really, and asking the Lord to help me know what to do, following instructions. And let me tell you, people, some of them not easy. Having vocal cords problems, especially with women, is very isolating. And a lot of women, I know I've cried before because I was depressed and lonely. Okay, so now I digress. Back to my miracle now. And thank you to my dear therapist who saw me just this past week, and I had to sing Silent Night to her. Or I sang Silent Night because they like to see how you sound and how your vocal cords are working when you speak and you sing. And she was so encouraging. She's like, Betsy, you have such a pleasant voice, and I could just listen to you. And she was just so encouraging. And I said, oh, you do? She's like, yes. And we were working on it because here's the thing, people. I got to sing in the Christmas choir this year. And we just sang on Sunday. I was able to hit a high note, the high notes that were needed. And I was able to sing with using all the techniques that I've used. And it was so wonderful. It had been 12 years since I'd actually sang at church at all, other than in the pew. And sometimes I couldn't even sing just in the pew. I couldn't sing at all. I had lost all hope that I would ever really be able to sing again in any meaningful way. And so this Christmas, my miracle is being able to sing in the Christmas choir. And we get to sing on the 24th too, and then to actually have my speech therapist, her eyes just wide and looking at me and say, Betsy, it's a miracle that with all you've gone through and with your left cord and that left muscle that goes like this, barely moving, that you can sing like that and that your voice is the way it is. That gave me the oomph I needed, and it's helped. And some of her recommendations for the high notes that I was struggling with, and then grateful to other YouTubers who are on there that do singing instruction and coaching, to some of them that helped with how to do, how to sing and things like that. I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful I didn't give up. And I'm grateful for the people at church that were able. We don't always have a choir at this church, but I'm grateful to our church for having the choir, for fitting it in, and then to the ones who were in charge of the choir, the director and everything, and to all the other choir members that were there. My husband was with me. He sings tenor. So that's my Christmas miracle. And I'm going to do a video. I love to create, and I can make poems at the drop of a hat. It just comes out of me. I think it's just a gift from God. And I can make songs up like so super easy at times, or I know what's coming up in a song. I don't know what it is. All I can say is it's a gift from God, because that's just the way it is. So in my next video that I'm going to show you, it's my Irish lilt. I am part Irish on my father's side. He was from Ireland and Poland. He was Irish and Polish, and he loved the Irish singing. And he loved it when I would sing to him when I was little. And I have always loved the traditional Irish singing and the Celtic singing and all this. So I was listening the other day to the lilts and to some of the reasons why they did the lilts, because there was a time in history when all their musical instruments were taken and they were refused. It was by England, Great Britain, sorry to say. But guess what? That's just the way, politics and different things are. The only kingdom that's a good kingdom without those kind of problems is the kingdom of heaven, where Jesus is in charge, right? Really, seriously, people think about it. Anyway, so since they couldn't have their musical instruments, they would be like diddle 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 dee diddle 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 dum tum dilly dum dum tum. They'd have all kinds of different sounds they would make instead of having the music instruments. So what I did was I started singing, and I was watching those things. I started singing a little chorus, and it turned into a song. And so it's called In a Manger He Lay, and it's my first Irish lilt I've ever written, and it's not a true lilt in the fact that it's not all these different songs. It's not all the different sounds. It's not just sounds. It's a combination of the sounds and actual words of the song. And it's called In a Manger He Lay. So what a Christmas miracle. I feel like it's my gift back to the Lord for helping me with my vocal cords, for giving me a disguised blessing all these years since I was injured in home care, and it was so traumatic for me. Seriously, that's a whole story in itself. To turn it all around and make it so that I could find these gifts that He's given and put within me, so I can use them to give them as gifts, not only to God, but to the whosoever will, that ever watches my videos or perhaps buys future products, or anybody that I can encourage. So that is my miracle of Christmas, that for all these years, and I've had my specialist now going on 21 years, the same ENT doctor, and then all the different vocal therapists, and so to finally be able to sing in a pleasant enough, okay, I am not, you will have to judge that. You know how you can always have the haters. Hey, she went flat, or she's sharp. Anyway, I'm not a perfect singer, but guess what? I sing with my heart, and it's a fun little song. It's a catchy little tune, I think, and it's all about the true meaning of Christmas. So thanks for being here. Thanks for staying. I hope you made it through to the end of this. I know I can get a little long, but anyway, thank you for listening to me to explain what my miracle of Christmas is, and I hope that you will join me on my next video when I actually sing for you my first Irish lilt. In a manger he lay. All right, thanks for now. Until next time, Merry Christmas and be blessed.